She is a good girl, aren't you, princess? I the good girl. I the good girl. Ow! It's a funny story. So in the industry, you call it field fostering. So I started at PAWS to volunteer, just to have something to do at the weekends. And I started off doing cat care, so she was in there with a couple of other cats, so she was in a pen on her own. And then Sue asked if anybody would be able to foster one of the cats for a couple of weeks. So I was like, okay, and then I asked Chris, and Chris was like, no, because you'll not give her back. I was like, I will, I promise I'll give her, which clearly didn't work. So I came and picked her up, took her home, and Sue and Michelle were like, you have to, are you gonna get a separate room? Because when you get a new cat, to introduce them to an old cat, you have to put them in a separate room and you have to introduce them slowly and all that. So we'd set up my bedroom to be her room for a few days. And then my neighbour next door and her little girl came with me, and we decided we'll just open up and see if they like each other, because it was one of those carriers that's got holes in it. So they were sniffing each other, so I said, oh, we'll just open it, and then they ran off together, and that was it. With her, I get really emotional about it, because I think about how much of a hard life she had before us and how lovely she is, and you look at how sweet she is and think, how could anybody be mean to her? Look at her. She's so beautiful. She's so silky. Maggie! Do you want some ham, my love? Good girl, you just know that we were looking for you. Yes, my love. As a seasoned cat owner, and any cat owners, everybody will tell you the cats from different litters they don't usually like each other. Them two just instantly clicked, and if, for example, Chris came home yesterday and found them on the sofa over there, curled up cleaning, and she was cleaning his head. He was cleaning his bum and she was cleaning his head, but they just sort of, it's really hard to describe. They follow each other round. When I first brought her home from PAWS, I'll get you another slice, darling. When I first brought her home from PAWS, I had to go get her second vaccinations for her. And I took her out, and he was really distressed when she was in the carrier. And apparently Chris said when we were out, he was walking around the house crying for her. And she does the same. When he went to get his claws clipped a couple of weeks ago, she did the same thing. So I would say if anybody wants to rescue a cat, it's so much nicer, because once they come round to you and settle in, you feel like you've earned it, and it feels so much better because you know that you're giving them a good home and you know that they love you. I wouldn't have had Maggie if it wasn't for PAWS. I honestly sit and think about that sometimes. I always think, what would my life have been like without her? Because I love her, and she had such a hard life before us, and I'm just so glad that we pamper her and let her do whatever she wants. But PAWS, it means that I've been able to make so many new friends, and I'm not lonely anymore. I actually sometimes think I need to slow down because I keep doing too much. Chris says, are you going to see them again? I'm like, listen, we've got things to do. I'm going to save the place, it's fine.